In this lesson, we'll take a look how to link different channels together. So here you see I created a sphere object and box, okay? So I want to link the sphere to the box. So when I move the sphere, I want the box moves at the same distance or at the same value, okay? So I can do that by selecting the sphere and coming to translate and right click and choose copy parameter. And I will select the box, and here in the Y translate Y, because this is X, Y, Z, I will right click and choose paste relative references, okay? So now as you see I created an expression here, or Houdini created expression for us, okay? So now if I select the sphere and move the sphere up, as you see the box moving with the sphere, okay? So I can go back to box object, and if you click once here, as you see I am switching between the expression and the value, okay? So I will click here and I will click once here to expand that. So even I can adjust the expression. So for example, I will divide this expression by 2. So now if I move the sphere on Y, for example, if I move that 1 unit, now the box will move the half value, okay? So if I clicked here, of course I selected the box, and if I click here, as you see, I have 0.5 because 0.5 is the half of the 1, okay? So let's take a look at the expression. So I will click once here and I will click here to expand that. As you see, this expression referencing to the sphere. Okay, this is CH is the channel. This called channel, okay? You see here I have the sphere object 1. Okay, this is the sphere object 1. And TY is this one, okay? TY. If you hover the mouse here, you see at the second line parameters TX, TY, TZ. This is TX, TY, TZ, okay? And if you hover on the rotate, you see in the second line RX, which is rotate X, rotate Y, rotate Z, okay? And so on. So for example, I can set this one to T, Z, for example, okay? So if I set that to Z, now this is translate Z, okay? So now if I move the sphere, nothing happens because I set that to TZ. So now if I move that on Z, as you see, the box moving up and down, okay? So why it's moving up and down and not on Z? Because we set the expression here on Y, okay? And you can delete the expression by right clicking and choosing delete channels, okay? And let's set that to 0, and here I will set that to 0, okay? And this one to 0 2, okay? So and again we can link the Z by right clicking here and choosing copy parameter, and I will go to box, and on the Z I will right click and choose paste relative references, okay? So now if I move that on Z, the box moving on Z, okay? So let's take a look at another example. So I will dive inside the sphere, and here you see I have the transform, and of course I can copy the parameter of the Y here, copy parameter from the transform, and I can go back and dive inside the box, and here I created a transform too, and I can set paste relative references here, okay? So as you see now I have the transform 1 in the expression, okay? So this means Houdini will bring the values from the sphere object and from the transform node and the translate Y, okay? From here, okay? So now if I move that, as you see we get the same result, okay? So let's delete the transform here, and I will delete the box. Let's take a look at another example. So I will zoom into the sphere, and I will dive inside. And here you see I have the radius, right? So if I move the radius, for example, to 1, okay? So let's say we want to bring the bottom of the sphere at the center of the grid. So what I will do, I will set that to 1, and now it's at the center of the grid, right? But if I change the value of the radius, as you see now the sphere is not at the center of the grid, okay? So we can make that easier for us by doing some expression here. So I will copy the radius, copy, and I will paste that here, okay? So in paste relative references. And now the value of the center is the same as the value of the radius. So now doesn't matter how I move the radius, the bottom of the sphere will remain at the center of the grid. Okay? So see you in the next lesson.